You've come a long way, Aaron. What are your plans for the future? I was thinking about visiting the family house in Hawaii, Aunt Laura. Maybe it's time I sell the property. Invest the money on something. Aunt Laura, she is everything for Aaron. Aaron's mother passed away when he was a baby, and after his father passed away when he was just a toddler. It had been her who looked after him. Aunt Laura was a kind and loving guardian to Aaron. She tried to give him a good brought-up. And now Aaron worked as an architect at a construction corporation. He lived with his girlfriend Ava in an apartment in New York. Aaron had been planning to make some arrangements for his father's house in Hawaii. When Ava heard the news, she was eager to go with Aaron, but, of course, on vacation to the islands. Aaron went to his boss's office to request a few days off from work. I was planning to go to Hawaii to sell my father's property in Kauai. I'll need a few days off. Alright, I'll think about it. Wait, where did you say? Kauai? Aaron gave the address of the property. His boss nodded. Just what I thought. This is a great location. You can invest the money on building a hotel there. You'd make a lot of money. That sounds great. Wait, Aaron, hold on. Before you leave, could you just sign this contract on your next assignment? I need your affirmation before I start on this new project. I hope you'll be back on time. Aaron was thrilled when he got a week's leave from work and new assignments waiting for him right after he got back. When news got out at the firm, one of Aaron's co-workers, Mr. Alton, requested to go with Aaron to Kauai. He intended to buy a beach house in the area himself, and this seemed like a good opportunity. Aaron, Ava, and Mr. Alton took a flight the following week. Aaron had checked the weather before arriving. It was supposed to be around 90 degrees Fahrenheit the whole week. But to his luck, when Aaron stepped out of the airport, a calm, refreshing breeze hit him. The skies were cloudy, and the weather was cool. Wow, this is odd. I've never seen such a drastic change in weather. I was prepared for the hot sun from the moment we started packing for this trip. The atmosphere was lovely and things were going great. Just until Aaron nearly got into an accident just a distance from the house. A careless truck driver had been driving down the road. He didn't notice Aaron in the way. It was such a close call. Strangely, however, at the last moment, the truck suddenly swerved out of control and crashed into the trees. Aaron had escaped a horrible fate. The driver rushed out of the vehicle. "Are you okay?" "It was all so sudden. I froze on the spot. I thought I would crash into you. I don't know how the truck suddenly took a turn. It was a miracle." Just then, an elderly woman rushed down the road with her cane. She was out of breath by the time she reached Aaron. Aaron was surprised when she cried out in joy. "Aaron, is that you? My dear child, I knew you would come back one day. You've grown so much. I'm sorry I haven't recognized you." Just then, she pulled Aaron towards the house. Ava and Mr. Alton followed. The elderly woman invited everyone inside. "I'm the housekeeper. You were young when you left this house. You've forgotten everything, haven't you? You must all be tired. Dinner will be ready soon. Take your time. We aren't in a hurry. We're planning to stay for a few days, miss. Luna, that's what you used to call me when you were a toddler." After a long chat with Luna, Aaron came to know a lot about his childhood and his father. Aunt Laura had always criticized Aaron's father. She said he was so stubborn and outdated. He never wanted to leave home in Hawaii. He had an unusual bond with the island and its people. Luna had much more to say. "After your mother passed away, I was the one to take care of you day and night. Those memories all bring tears to my eyes. My little child has grown up. Your father rarely had any time to be at home. He was an archaeologist, always busy with work, but he was an incredible man, kind-hearted and generous. He spent all his time in trying to preserve the native culture of Hawaii, the monuments, temples, and sacred grounds of our ancestors. He fought for the rights of the native people here, and everyone cherished his hard work. Your father was a hero to us, to our native community. Over the next few days, Ava and Aaron traveled around the island. Ava had been suntanning on the beach in the mornings and got a sunburn. But as unusual as it was, whenever Aaron went outside, a cool, relaxing breeze would suddenly fill the air, and the clouds would shade the area. "You've got some luck, Aaron. Every time I go out with you, the weather suddenly gets better. It's unbelievable. It is blessing from the spirits. Some people just have a bond with the nature, Ava. I sensed the sacred aura around Aaron the minute I saw him." Aaron and Ava were enjoying their visit. Mr. Alton, however, was nowhere to be seen. He woke up every morning and left the house with his briefcase. When asked, he informed everyone he was busy with some work. He was checking out a few other properties in the area. Aaron and Ava spent the evenings walking along the shore. "Ava, do you hear that?" "I've been hearing that noise the past few nights. What is that?" "I don't hear anything." "You don't? Really?" "The faint noise of drums pounding. There's a hum in the air." "It's late, Aaron. There's no one here. And I don't hear anything but the waves." Aaron couldn't ignore the noises he heard. They were clear. And Aaron had no doubts about them. He had been hearing them ever since he reached the house here. Sometimes, he even heard the crackling of fire burning nearby. One night, Ava mentioned the sounds Aaron was hearing to Luna. "Luna, do you hear any drums beating? Aaron has been complaining ever since he got here. Luna laughed and said, "Does he also hear the cheerful humming tunes?" Aaron and Ava were shocked. "How did you know?" Luna patted Aaron's back. "Don't worry about it. It's a good sign." No matter how much Aaron insisted, Luna only gave a laugh and didn't explain anything to him. All she whispered was, "It's the spirits of the night." Ava was a bit frightened by Luna's reaction, so much so that she stopped going to the shore with Aaron every evening. The next day, Mr. Alton stayed home the whole day. He requested Aaron to show him around the property. "Mr. Alton, I know I brought you here to make a deal on the property, but I'm not sure I want to sell the house anymore. Luna lives here and the locals seem to have deep respect for the house." I see. Aaron noticed Mr. Alton was very disappointed at what he said. Later that afternoon, Mr. Alton went out to receive a phone call. In the evening, Aaron tried to convince Ava to take a walk with him to the shore, but she would rather stay home with Luna. That was when Mr. Alton returned and offered his company. He and Aaron headed towards the shore. "Let's go to the cliffside. The view is amazing." As soon as they reached the cliff, it began to thunder, and the skies became dark. Huge waves were crashing onto the cliff. Mr. Alton was enjoying the weather, but after a while, Aaron started to become a little concerned. The water seemed to be increasing at a rapid rate. "Mr. Alton, I think we should head back. It doesn't seem safe here." "Are you afraid of the Hawaiian spirits also? I've been hearing a lot of ridiculous legends around this area. They say dangerous spirits lurk on the shores of the island. These people need a change. Take their heads out of the sand." Suddenly, the two held their ears to a loud boom of thunder. Within seconds, Aaron and Mr. Alton were looking up at a gigantic wave that hovered above their heads. It would be seconds before the waves would pull them into the sea. Suddenly, Mr. Alton yelled out, "Aaron, help! Something's pulling me!" Right before his eyes, a huge wave launched Mr. Alton into the ocean. But Aaron was stunned to find the waves only surrounded him and encircled him. He was left untouched, unharmed, and completely dry. Suddenly, he heard the drums pounding loudly, the humming voices. He felt the warmth of a burning fire as the ground lit with the orange light. It was unreal. The weather had suddenly changed. Aaron looked at the clear skies and the gentle waves. He was amazed and terrified at the same time. Ava rushed to the beach. Luna struggled to follow with her cane. They found Aaron in a panic state. Aaron told them what had happened. Luna's eyes widened They protected you, as they used to protect your father. The spirits of the ancient warriors. They dedicated their lives in safeguarding the islanders from all harm for eternity. Your father was a savior for the natives. He earned their trust and their protection with his work. He used to tell me about the same noises, the drums, the warmth of the fire. Don't be afraid, Aaron. It's a blessing. Only the sacred members of the community have been able to witness. Have you not seen, ever since you've been here, no harm has been able to touch you? The accidents, the weather. It's more than a miracle, Aaron. It's the presence of the guardians watching over you. Aaron didn't know what to believe, but he knew he had experienced something out of this world. Could it have been the Hawaiian spirits? The police were soon informed about the tragic accident. Ava and Aaron couldn't get their heads around what happened that night. Luna sighed. The warrior spirits only take away the evil souls with them. If your companion was taken away, perhaps it was for the best. Aaron's changed his mind on the deal. He won't sell the house. Did I send you there on vacation? If Aaron won't sell the property, get rid of him. I've got his signature with me. It won't be an issue to make some fake papers. I have people who can get it done, but make sure you make it look like an accident. We've got our lawyers. We'll be fine. I need that property, and if you can get it for me, I'll make you in charge of the construction project I planned there. This hotel will make millions. All right, I'll see what I can do. Help! Something's pulling me.
If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family. The Simmert family, Roger, Lucille, and their daughter Susanna, recently moved into their new house on the far south side of the city in East Side, Chicago. Roger had been searching for a house by Lake Michigan for the past year when he discovered a great deal on a foreclosed property. The house had been unoccupied since its owners left years ago. But unable to contact them, the bank eventually took possession of the property. And nearly 50 years later, they were auctioning the house off, and Roger thought it was a great opportunity to make an investment. As the family was only moving from Milwaukee to Eastside, it wasn't a big change for Roger or Lucille. But for Susie, their 15-year-old daughter, it might as well have been the end of the world. For 4 days at least, it was. But when she first walked into her new room, where she would have all the privacy she ever wanted, Susie was more than happy moving there. It's been 4 days, 6 hours, 37 minutes since we were last together. Is this how long-distance relationships feel like? At least we'll be able to meet on the weekends. How's the new house? It's alright. I can see the lake from my window. I'll send you a selfie. Well, without you around, there's been a lot of up-hotness at the school. There's what? Up-hotness. What's up-hotness? Just chillin'. You? You're so lame. I love it. While Susie was coping just fine, Lucille was still getting used to the ongoing obsession of her being glued to her phone. It was 9 p.m., dinner was running cold, and Susie was still in her room. "Susanna, isn't it time you put down that phone and come to the table?" "Yeah, Mom, coming." "Right now, young lady. If your dad saw how much time you spent on that phone, he would have had it seized a long time ago." Susie sent a long text while her mother stood there ready to burst. She then hopped across the room smiling at her. "Dad might, but you're the best mom in the world." "You can't butter me about everything, Susie. You don't want to see my bad side." "Here you go, Garfield. I know you'd rather prefer lasagna, but it's toxic for cats. So for now, you're gonna have to deal with seafood meow mix." Roger and Lucille absolutely hated the new teenage drama. And ever since Susie started seeing this boy, the drama doubled. But of course, the parents themselves had been through the phase, so they were tolerating it. But that didn't make it any less annoying or concerning. Since the family had moved, Susie had been on her phone texting and chatting with this boy. In the living room, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in the backyard. "Susie, can you go rake the backyard?" Roger and Lucille weren't happy about the matter at all. It wasn't long before teenagers got themselves tangled up in embarrassing situations. "Dad, Dad, 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 Dad." "What is it, Susie?" "Did you know you're the best dad in the world?" "Skip to the point. What do you want?" "I wanted to go to the mall next weekend, and I need some allowance." "Absolutely not." "Please, Dad, come on." "Well, you definitely aren't going to get it for free, but you can do some chores to earn it, like clean out the fireplace. The weather is getting chilly. $50 and it's a deal. How about $1 and you still have to do it? All right, $20. I'm dropping you off and I'm picking you up. Now go get started." And so, instead of sleeping in on Saturday morning, Susie put on her gloves, covered up the furniture, and started sweeping out the firebox. The things she did for Kevin. "It's a date next Saturday, but my dad's dropping me off." "He agreed to it?" "No way. I'm not telling him. You want to die or something?" "All right, gotta go. Have a lot of work to do." Susie started brushing the brick walls of the chimney. But when she felt a cold puff of air on her head, she looked up, a little scared by how dark it was. But suddenly, when something shifted along the space, a little light seeped through. What is that? Susie ignored it and continued cleaning out the ash. She couldn't get rid of the feeling that something was up in that chimney right above her. She actually started to hear something strange. The sound of something breathing right over her shoulder. Susie dropped her things and ran to her mother. "Mom, there's something hiding in the chimney." "It's probably just some rats." "No, it wasn't a rat. It was bigger than that. And kinda long. I don't know, but it's not a rat." "Then maybe a raccoon. Be careful, don't shine your flash at that thing. Now you've got even the animals fed up of your constant selfies. They have to hide in the chimney to get away from you." "I'm not joking, Mom. Raccoons don't breathe like that. It felt like a person breathing over my neck." "Susie, if you think you're gonna get away with getting the job half done, it's not gonna happen." "It's not that, Mom. Come see for yourself." "I don't want to hear the excuses, Missy." Susie sighed as she returned to the living room. She was too paranoid to go under the chimney again. She used the broomstick to get the rest of the job done. "Get out of the way, Garfield. Don't go near there." It took double the time, but apart from looking like a 19th century coal mine worker taking her minimum wage, all was fine. 50? Really? Dad, you really are the best. You won't believe what happened today. It was so freaky. What? I swear, there's some freaky looking thing up in my chimney. I have no clue what it was, but it was long. Alright, if that was meant to be something dirty, I have no clue how to respond to that. What? No. Seriously. Did you take a picture? No, I was too scared to go there again. I heard it breathing. Sounds like Santa got stuck up there last Christmas and that's his... Susie stopped texting to listen closely to a strange thud over her ceiling. And right outside her wall facing the backyard. It continued for a while, before it was silent again. Now I'm hearing strange noises from the roof. Thanks for giving me nightmares. Susie woke up the next morning, and as usual sent a long text to Kevin, got ready, and went out to give Garfield his food. She found her mom in the kitchen, couldn't spot her dad, or Garfield for that matter. As she peered under the table and in the cupboard, she asked her mother, "Where's Dad?" "Pretty sure he's not inside the cupboard." "I was looking for Garfield." "Right, where is that cat? Your dad went out." Susie searched the entire house, but she couldn't find the cat anywhere, so she decided to check outside. "Garfield! Garfield, where are you?" Susie looked back at the house when her eyes caught something up on the roof. It looked like a dark stain, like something gross dropped there. What kind of bird droppings is that? All of a sudden, Susie heard a rustle in the bushes. "Garfield? Do you know how long I've been searching for you?" Two raccoons jumped out fighting over something in their paws. Seeing Susie, they dropped it and scurried off over the fence. Susie was about to run herself, but she froze seeing what the raccoons left behind. There were flies buzzing in the bushes. Susie stepped closer, horrified to see her cat, Garfield, in a dreadful condition. How could this happen? The raccoons? "Get out of the way, Garfield. Don't go near there." Susie last saw Garfield walking around the chimney. Was it? Mom! Mom! I told you there was something hiding in that chimney. It killed Garfield." "What?" "That lazy cat is probably sleeping somewhere around here. You'll find him." "No, we won't. Garfield is no more. Go see for yourself. There are raccoons out there. They're eating him." "That's horrible. These raccoons are turning out to be dangerous. I'll tell your father about them." "It wasn't the raccoons, Mom. I didn't see a raccoon that day. It was some sort of other creature. The sound on the roof last night. That stain. It was blood." "Don't be ridiculous, Susie. Sit down and have your breakfast. Your head isn't working." She had been taking care of Garfield since she was 8. Her mother had tried to get rid of him so many times, but Susie had always come to his rescue. But this time, she was too late. Every time Susie went to the living room, she stared at the chimney for hours. She could sense that thing breathing across the room. Her parents refused to believe her, though her dad humored her once and shined a flashlight up there to find nothing. "Are you serious, Susie? You're going to be 16 and you're scared of monsters lurking in the chimney?" "Dad, look again. It's hiding up there." "It must be Krampus. Half goat, half demon, horns and claws. But as far as I knew, he came down the chimney at night for bad children, not cats." "It's not Krampus, Mom." "Well, you're claiming something just as bizarre, Susie." It was a rainy night. Susie was sitting on her bed, looking out to the lake. She didn't feel like talking to Kevin. Even he didn't believe her. Looking through pictures of her and Garfield, Susie woke up startled to a bad dream. She saw something dragging Garfield away. Anxious, she went out to get some water. Passing by the living room, she stared at the chimney. A shrill sound rung in her ears as a moist, cold breeze passed through the opening. Getting the shivers, she quickly drank her water and hurried back. Down the hall, however, she stopped to see her parents' room open. They were up at this time. Susie walked down the hall, about to call her mom, when she fell silent by what she saw. Her throat became parched. Her fingers trembled as she peered through the crack to see her parents laying lifeless on the floor, just like how she found Garfield. And what was that? Petrified, Susie ran down the hall. Had it seen her? She had to think quick. Susie opened the cupboard and climbed inside. Her heart raced as she heard the floorboards creak outside. She was breathing so heavily. She covered her mouth, trying not to let out a sound. She left her phone in the room. There was no way she could get it now. Between the cupboard panels, she peeked outside. It was silent. Susie leaned back the farthest she could. Maybe she might be able to escape. She remembered the first time she heard her dad talking about the house. The original owners abandoned the house and disappeared. Strange, isn't it? Why would anyone leave such a beautiful home? Susie knew why. They hadn't disappeared or left. They were killed. And now, Susie had lost everyone. What was going to happen to her? She closed her eyes tight. Tears dropped profusely down her cheeks as she whimpered softly in fear. In the midst of the horror, she felt a cool, relieving breeze on her wet face. Just until she heard a raspy voice from the other side.
Now who's hiding?
If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family.
Who's there? Alan? What's the matter? Is everything all right? Mind if I stay here for a bit? The nightmares? Again? Come in. Maybe you should see a doctor. It's getting out of hand. No, it's not in my mind, Christine. The house. There's something about the house. Sherbrooke. It's a nice place. far better from the city. It's what I needed to get away from the crowd. Buying that house was no mistake. It came at a reasonable price. The neighborhood is great. And Christine, my neighbor, and first friend around here, she has been awfully kind and caring. The house is old, but it was well taken care of. It had a large backyard, a cozy fireplace. It was very welcoming. But there's one thing I did overlook when I bought it. This house once belonged to a criminal. He was taken in for murder. Murder? In this house? Well, I'll be honest with you. That's why you're getting the house at this price. Seeing a bit of hesitation, the agent assured me. Others had bought the house after him, and I was the third person to purchase the house down the line. There were no complaints about the house before. But things didn't turn out as he promised after I moved in. It's been about 2 months now, and the feeling just won't go. It always feels like someone is watching me, whether I'm inside or out. But things began to get uneasy when I woke up to noises in the middle of the night. Sometimes it felt like there was someone walking around the house. Alan, I've told you before, there's nothing to worry about. The house has been bought and sold a number of times before you bought it. People live there with no problem. I don't know, maybe you're right, but I just can't shake off that feeling that someone's watching me. Sometimes it can happen when you're living all alone. No, it all started since that incident back in the city. One night, this homeless man followed me back to my place. Stood outside the house, watching over for the whole night, probably waiting for me to sleep. Who knows what was in his mind? Who knows if he was even homeless? Probably a thief or a robber. So I called the police and had him arrested. Ever since then, that feeling just lingered. Well, that's over now, and this neighborhood is pretty safe. I've been here for 7 years. I know, but I keep thinking about the man who owned the house. Who was he? I didn't want to tell you this, but I guess it's no use of keeping it from you. It's the legend of Joe Martin. He was a narcissist, but no one thought he would go this far. They say he couldn't fall asleep unless he had the feeling that someone was watching him. Sounds odd. It's the same feeling you're trying to get rid of. Yet he was searching for it. And then one day, police tracked his house and he was arrested for putting up a scarecrow in his room. Scarecrow in his room? Strange, but that's not a crime, is it? Some months had passed since a girl went missing in our town. She was a young girl about 17 years old. She was pretty, with exceptionally big eyes. Maybe that's why Martin decided to target her. The police found no ordinary scarecrow in his room. It was that girl, hanging from a pole right in front of his bed. Her body was rotting. Her eyes were still open. Her eyelids were cut off. That's sick. No one saw Martin after that. It's been about 30 years since then, and others have bought the house with no complaints, so you can rest assured everything will be fine. It's getting really late. I'm going to bed. You can stay in the guest room. Thanks. It's like I haven't slept in that house for weeks now. No problem. I guess it's nice to have some company around. The next morning, after getting a few hours of sleep, I was feeling a lot better. Thanks for letting me stay. You're welcome anytime. Returning back home, I tried keeping myself occupied, organizing the house, but no matter what I did, every night would be the same, constantly waking up from nightmares. Who's there? The nights were horrible, and even the days were unbearable. I started to become paranoid about every simple thing around the house, clenching at even the slightest breeze that would make the curtains move. Startled out of my mind, hearing the sudden noise in the pin-drop silent house, I threw the knife from my hands. It went straight into the wall and punctured it. What am I doing? I'm losing my mind. I went to get the knife when I noticed the wall was leaking. A strange yellow fluid seeped from the walls as I pulled out the knife. That's when I saw something shimmer through the crack. I used the knife to break apart the wall. Stuffed my hand inside to take out something that felt like a jar. Past midnight now, and I'm still watching the forensic crew uncasing rows and rows of jars of eyeballs from the secret compartment behind the walls of the entire house. This is why it always felt like someone was watching. He was truly insane.
If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to my channel, and share this video with your friends and family.